Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the Caiden Cowger program, broadcasting from West Virginia. It is great to have you with us. So, this is the first day back in 2017. Great to be back. I'm sure you missed me. But anyway, guys, even after our little break, the media still can't stand Donald Trump. It's hilarious. I was watching This Week on ABC News, and they had a commentator on there, Sean Spicer, and he was talking about how the mainstream media completely flips out because Donald Trump has access to a Twitter account and uses it frequently. Well, you know, we've really known this for quite some time, that the media hates Donald Trump. If you take a poll that was conducted, published on thehill.com, over 75% of Americans believe that the mainstream media was rooting for Hillary Clinton in the last election. 75%, an overwhelming majority of Americans believe that the media is nothing but basically people who promote propaganda for the Democratic Party. That's exactly how the American public views the media. They are nothing but the propaganda wing of the liberal left. All right? Well, anyway, there are different reasons why the media hates Donald Trump so much, because even though Trump is a Republican, which, of course, the media being Democratic controlled, automatically right there, they're going to hate Donald Trump. But there's other reasons outside of him just being a Republican that has really caused them to hammer down on him, especially as a candidate. And one of the reasons is because he has really made the mainstream media look bad. He has exposed them as being the propagandists that they are. He's exposed them as being nothing but partisan hacks for the Democratic Party. And on top of all that, we get to the use of his Twitter account. Now, with Twitter and social media, Donald Trump has been able to directly speak to the American people. In other words, he doesn't need the media. He doesn't have to release a press release in order to get something out there. All he has to do is just type it out into 120 characters or under and post it on Twitter. And see, traditionally, politicians rely on the media to get their messages out. And Trump hasn't had to do that. He's used social media as a direct connection with the American people. And the media doesn't know how to handle it because they have been used to serving as the mediator between the American people and politicians, and now they're no longer needed. So that's really one of the reasons why they hate Donald Trump. Not only is he a threat to the Democratic Party, which is enough to get the media on your back, but he's also a threat to them because he is delegitimizing them. And I want to play this clip for you of Sean Spicer on This Week, ABC News, and he goes into this in a little bit more depth about how the media just completely freaks out every single time that Trump sends out a tweet, and about him having access to a Twitter account. And also, he touched base on Trump using Twitter as president. Go ahead and listen to this.
With all due respect, I think it freaks the mainstream media out that he has this following of over 45+ million people that follow him on social media, that he can have a direct conversation. Yeah. He doesn't have to have it funneled through the media. This is this is going to be a business as usual is over, as I've said before. There's a new sheriff in town. He's going to do things first and foremost for the American people.
So we're still going to see a lot of Twitter as
you're
president?
Going to see, absolutely, you're going to see Twitter.
Why he had said on 60 Minutes that he was going to cut back.
You know what? The fact of the matter is that when he tweets, he gets results. So whether it's Twitter, holding a news conference, picking up the phone, having a meeting, he is going to make sure that he continues to fight for the American people every single day.
So, see, there you go. Trump is going to continue, more than likely, using Twitter as president. Why? Because that is his direct connection with the American people. He doesn't have to go through the liberal media. Isn't that pathetic that all the way up to this time, the way traditionally that politicians connected with the American people was by going through a Democratic-controlled media? I mean, it's fine if you're a Democrat, but if you're a Republican, you have to depend on Democrats to get your message out. You honestly don't think that that is going to be compromised? But anyway, we also have MSNBC. Barnacle was on there on The Morning Joe talking about how Trump has been playing the media, and quite successfully at that.
And he said, so let's see what happens if we go out there and are positive. It can't be much worse than it was over the past 8 years. And if it is, then we'll correct.
Well, you're sort of going around a central point that is on the next read that's on the teleprompter here. The media, unfortunately, large parts of the media, not all of the media, have spent so much time obsessing over his tweets to the exclusion of, have you received a full intelligence briefing yet, Mr. President-elect? And you realize, when you think about it, that Donald Trump is playing us.
Yes.
Quite successfully. Because I don't know, not that I should, just me, but whether he has received a full intelligence briefing.
Right.
I don't know that he's fully addressed, even in part, the relationship with Russia that he hopes to find going forward.
Right.
We don't know any of that, but we know every single tweet.
Yeah.
We know all about the tweets. Lay off the tweets.
But when he's not having press conferences, we're so dependent.
Us.
He controls the forum.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Which, again, we've seen less and less access to presidents in the past. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens once the White House gets set up.
So can we pause this for a second? All right. Donald Trump had quite a few press conferences all the way up to when he became president-elect, right? Hillary Clinton hardly had any. So you have MSNBC, MSLSD now complaining that Donald Trump isn't holding any press conferences up to this point. Where were they with Hillary Clinton? Why didn't they make that into a big deal? I mean, it was obvious that she wasn't holding any press conferences, but that was not an issue with these people. But all of a sudden it is with Donald Trump. And I'll tell you, what Donald Trump is doing up to this point is that he's organizing his transition team, and they're getting ready to go into the White House. He's a busy guy. We're getting ready to go. He's not interested in photo ops. He's going to mainly have his core focus on his transition team and getting into the White House, getting policies established, etc. That's what he's focusing on. We have Mike Huckabee that was on Fox News also, and he even exclaimed that Trump can do more in 140 characters than the Times can do in its Sunday paper. Go ahead and listen to this.
I don't personally know one way or the other.
Are you confident that the incoming President-elect Trump is prepared to deal with this cyber threat that you just referenced? I mean, you dig through the research, and I mean, there are black markets of hackers out there that they demand large sums of money. They're very good at what they do, and they're all over the place. This is a continued threat that we face. Do you think he's prepared to fight that?
Well, I do. I think he's putting some people in his cabinet and on his national security team that will be focused on it. Will he personally go in and create a firewall? No, I doubt that he's that tech savvy. But I think he's putting people in place who recognize the importance of it. And quite frankly, one of the things, I'd love to see our government do, instead of putting some of these really smart, young, brilliant kids in prison and ruining their lives, maybe tap into what they know that we don't know about how to get into these security systems. I mean, that would be a pretty fair deal to find out, how did you guys get into the Defense Department computer anyway, and find out where the vulnerabilities are. That's what I'd like to see President Trump do. Yeah, it's amazing. And lastly, Governor, before we let you go, the idea of the president-elect, soon-to-be President Trump, tweeting about this exchange with Putin, are you okay with that? I mean, this latest great move on delay by V. Putin. I always knew he was very smart. Are you all right with that? Here's why I am okay with it, because it's Donald Trump's way of bypassing a media that will never accurately filter, reflect, or even portray what he has said. And Donald Trump can do more in 140 characters than the New York Times can do with 600 pages in its Sunday paper. Absolutely. So, yeah, I think it's kind of a brilliant stroke, to be honest with you. All right. And he says he intends to keep doing it. So it'll be interesting. Governor Huckabee, thanks for being here tonight. You bet, Sandra. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. Advisors to the president-elect aren't... There you go. That was Mike Huckabee on Fox News saying that Trump can do more in 140 characters. I guess Twitter's 140. I thought it was 120. It's 140 characters than the Times can do in its Sunday paper. So, I mean, it's truth. Trump has a direct connection with the American people. He doesn't have to rely on the mainstream media to get his message out, as Republicans have traditionally had to do. And like I expressed before, how ridiculous is it that the Republican Party has had to depend on the Democratic-controlled mainstream media
to get their messages out. I mean, the media's sole purpose is to get Democrats elected anymore. I mean, MSNBC has made it perfectly clear that they support the platforms of the Democratic Party, so they're unreliable. And, I think even NBC knows that MSNBC is unreliable, because what do? They demoted the liar, what's his name? I forget what the guy's name is. Brian Williams, there you go. They demoted Brian Williams to MSNBC. He was an NBC host, now he's on MSNBC. Why? Because the network is full of liars, and Brian Williams fits right in. So, I mean, guys, it's really just absolutely pathetic. And I guess the media feels like they're being played like this, like that. Well, what do you expect when all that you're trying to do is attack Donald Trump? The reason why they keep talking about the Twitter stuff is because they're trying to make it out like Trump is this immature, unqualified person to be in the office of President of the United States. And they think that by reporting that Donald Trump is using all of these tweets, etc., and all that, that as a result, he is somehow unqualified to be president because he's using Twitter. It's unpresidential. Stuff like that. All right? It's just so absolutely pathetic. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, this media is so out of touch with the American people that they don't know what to do. Because at one point in time in America's history, people had to depend on the media for information. All right? We had to depend on the mainstream media to let us know about what politicians are expressing, their different political platforms, who we wanted to vote for came predominantly out of the media. But now with the internet and with social media, we have direct access to politicians' platforms, to what they say, to their every move, to their every statement, with just a few clicks of a mouse. All right? So it's completely changed. And it's getting to the point now where we don't rely on the media pertaining to figuring out which candidate to vote for. We can do that ourselves. And that's something really nice that comes out of using the internet. That because you're able to research these politicians and find out information about them and form your own conclusions. And the media is really just absolutely aggravated by this reality because the American people do not rely on them anymore. The American people do not have to rely on the media for information. They don't have to rely on the media's talking heads to figure out what candidates are doing or how they're voting. All that they have to do is research it online themselves, and they can form their own conclusions. So in other words, what we are witnessing in American politics is the mainstream media losing power. And that's the exact reason why they are so upset with Donald Trump compared to any other Republican candidate. They've always hammered down on Republicans. We saw that with Candy Crowley and Mitt Romney. They've always tried to delegitimize Republican candidates. But with Donald Trump, it's far worse because he's punching back and they don't like it. They're bullies, and, you punch a bully back, he's going to get mad. And that's exactly what's taking place here. The media has been bullying the Republican Party for years, and now we have a Republican that is fighting back, and the media is trying to retain their power. And it's not working out too well for them. No one takes MSNBC seriously anymore. No one takes CNN seriously anymore. Fox News is all right, except Megyn Kelly. No one really takes her seriously anymore. I mean, I can go on and on with NBC, CBS, ABC. No one takes these people seriously. And the reason why is because they have been exposed as being the partisan hacks that they are, working as the propaganda division of the Democratic Party. And that's solely what they are, and the American people see them for what they are.
Fighting liberalism one lie at a time.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
It safely eliminates stress and anxiety. It makes commuting, driving your kids around, or driving a truck more fun. It makes gift shopping easier. It's Happy Driving Stress Reduction, a revolutionary patent-pending tool that works while you drive. Find Happy Driving Stress Reduction on iTunes, Amazon, or Google Play. Make life easier. Buy Happy Driving Stress Reduction today.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code RADIO1 for discount.
Go get your copy of Prelude to World War III, The Rise of Islamic Republic and the Rebirth of America. World War III Series Volume 1, available in paperback and Kindle edition on Amazon by the authors James Rozone and Miranda Watson. By the 2020s, America was no longer a world superpower. The military had been cut to a bare-bones level, and while the U.S. was focused internally, the door opened for new powers to emerge on the world stage. In the wake of this power vacuum, China.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody
Guys, I want to tell you this. The Democrats are in complete denial over this election. The Democrats are in complete denial over Donald Trump winning the presidency. They don't think that the reason why Donald Trump won is because the American people were tired of liberalism. Now, they can think whatever they want, but Republicans maintained the House. They maintained the Senate. They have the presidency now. They have far, far more governors than the Democrats have. And on a county-by-county basis, Donald Trump won in a landslide, going by the number of counties. Now, with all that being said, even though we have record numbers of Republicans serving in governmental positions, the Democrats still think that the reason why the American people voted is not based upon a rejection of liberalism, but because they just didn't like Hillary Clinton. We have Howard Dean on MSNBC that's going to tell us about how America really thinks. Listen.
Still disorganized. Howard, let me play you this soundbite. This is from President Obama as well, talking today, but also talking about the risk of demonizing people. Take a listen.
It is here that we remember that even when hatred burns hottest, even when the tug of tribalism is at its most primal, we must resist the urge to turn inward. We must resist the urge to demonize those who are different.
So, what's your take on that? Is that another message to Trump?
Yeah. That is a message to Trump. It's not, I don't think it's personal. I think, Obama's taken the high road for 8 years. And his hope was to bring the country together. I actually had a meeting with him and told him how tough the Republicans were going to be and how they had no interest in that. He didn't believe me. I think he probably does now. But that's what he got elected for by those zillions of young people that went out to vote for him so enthusiastically. So I think this is what he wants to say on the way out and try to remind us that we actually have to get along. If the politicians don't want to get along and they want to use this kind of rhetoric that Trump uses, that's fine if you can't do anything about it. But those of us who are in the trenches can get along with each other, and we should make an effort to do so. Our visions of the country are different, but there are compromises that can be made.
So let me ask both of you, since you're both political veterans of the game, so to speak. On a different note, Obama telling David Axelrod that he would have won a third term. Howard, do you agree with that?
I think he would have, but I wouldn't have said that. I mean, what's the point? That's a hypothetical that could never happen, and you always get into trouble answering hypothetical questions. I don't know why he answered that question.
Did you see that also as a dig a little bit on Hillary Clinton? Did you see that as a swipe against her?
No, I think that was just Obama being Obama. None of us are perfect, and we all have a sense of ourselves, and he has a sense of himself. And it was David Axelrod asking the question, so it was his friend. That's when he should have been on guard for and just passed on. Would have been the smarter thing to do.
Your take.
So there you have Howard Dean saying that for 8 years, Obama has tried to take the high road, has tried to bring people together. Do you remember that speech that Obama gave at the National Prayer Breakfast? Do you remember that, Obama, about Christians on their high horses?
Lest we get on our high horse and think this is unique to some other place, remember that during the Crusades and the Inquisition, people committed terrible deeds in the name of Christ. It is not unique to one group or one religion. There is a tendency in us, a sinful tendency, that can pervert and distort our faith.
So remember that when Christians needed to get off their high horse? Yeah. Right. Obama's really done a lot to unite the country, hasn't he? This has been one of the most divisive presidents in American history. I mean, you look at the racial tensions in the United States now. You think that Obama has legitimately brought races together? This guy has divided people based on religion. He's divided, he's just completely hammered down on evangelicals. This guy has completely divided the nation based on race, based upon politics. We are far, far more politically divided now than we were, I have to say, under George Bush. Because at least under George Bush, the majority of the country, I think, believed, yeah, he was not very good. Okay? But now under Obama, I mean, this guy has taken us far, far, far over to the left. All right? And then you have your conservatives that are far over to the right. But the thing is that the Democrats have moved so far over to the left that they have completely abandoned reason. They have completely abandoned the old principles of the Democratic Party and are now getting in the realm of socialism and communism and things of that nature. Complete social liberalism. It's absolutely insane. They have embraced insanity. All right, so no, this president has not united people. Now, here's another thing. We have Obama apparently not recognizing that this election was a verdict on the view of America. So, on his view of America anyway. I want you to listen to this. You know, Rush Limbaugh has been talking about this for a while, that the number one thing, and the media will not report it, they actually had to in this case because that's the story that came out of David Axelrod pertaining to Obama. President Obama does not accept that the election was a verdict on his view of America. What Rush Limbaugh has been expressing for several weeks on the radio is that Obama is worried about the American people rejecting his view of America and viewing that as being the reason why Hillary and the Democrats lost. He does not want to hold responsibility for Democrats losing this election, even though we have record numbers of Republicans winning governmental seats under his leadership. He has given us the most Republican wins in a long time. He is not to blame for this. This is from CNN.
We're back with more on our politics lead now. A third term. President Obama says it would have been possible for him if only he could have run again on his message of hope and change.
I am confident in this vision because I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it.
That was the president talking with his former senior advisor, David Axelrod. David is now host of the Axe Files podcast and a CNN senior political commentator, and he joins us now from Chicago. David, happy Hanukkah. Thanks for being here. I guess I don't want to...
Same to you, Jay.
Is this kind of a harsh judgment of Hillary Clinton? He would have been able to do what she could not?
Well, he said this in service of a larger point, which is he doesn't accept that the election was a verdict on his view of where the country should be going. He points out that she got a majority of the vote. He feels that he would have won the election. But there's no doubt that there is some criticism implicit in his remarks. And he went on to say that perhaps the Clinton campaign took too much for granted. Perhaps they played it too cautiously. And he was particularly critical of where they spent their time and where they made their case, suggesting that had they spent more time in these rural areas and small towns in states like Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that they would have prevailed there.
In fact, the president repeated his suggestion that the Democrats ignored those segments of the voting population, which ultimately led to Trump's win. Let's take a listen.
See, I think the issue was less that Democrats have somehow abandoned the white working class. I think that's nonsense. Look, the Affordable Care Act benefits a huge number of Trump voters. There are a lot of folks in places like West Virginia or Kentucky who didn't vote for Hillary, didn't vote for me, but are being helped by this. Right. The problem is that we're not there on the ground communicating not only the dry policy aspects of this, but that we care about these communities, that we're bleeding for these communities.
Right. You're not. You have spent the majority of time bashing these communities. You've described people that live in such communities as being deplorable. So no. You don't care about those people.
Some say he's the next Rush Limbaugh.
I tell you, this kid's got 90% of Rush's venom with only 10% of the biomass.
You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code RADIO1 for discount.
It safely eliminates stress and anxiety. It makes commuting, driving your kids around, or driving a truck more fun. It makes gift shopping easier. It's Happy Driving Stress Reduction, a revolutionary patent-pending tool that works while you drive. Find Happy Driving Stress Reduction on iTunes, Amazon, or Google Play. Make life easier. Buy Happy Driving Stress Reduction today.
Go get your copy of Prelude to World War III, The Rise of Islamic Republic and the Rebirth of America. World War III Series Volume 1, available in paperback and Kindle edition on Amazon by the authors James Rozone and Miranda Watson. By the 2020s, America was no longer a world superpower. The military had been cut to a bare-bones level, and while the U.S. was focused internally, the door opened for new powers to emerge on the world stage. In the wake of this power vacuum, China...
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
So we have the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange, has come out and stated that the Obama administration is trying to delegitimize Donald Trump by trying to blame Russia for the entire WikiLeaks release. This is from thehill.com. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange says that there's an obvious reason the Obama administration has focused on Russia's alleged role in the Democratic hacks leading up to the Donald Trump electoral win. They're trying to delegitimize Trump, Assange exclaimed, as he goes into the White House. Assange said this during an interview with Fox News Sean Hannity, airing Tuesday night, according to a transcript of excerpts from the network. They are trying to say that President-elect Donald Trump is not a legitimate president, Assange said during the interview. And he's absolutely right. That is exactly what is taking place here. The mainstream media is trying to make it out like Donald Trump did not win this fair and square, that Russia gave him the election, and that is that's their strategy going into 2020, that Trump is not legitimately president. We have the interview with Sean Hannity right here. Listen to this.
You say to the American people unequivocally that you did not get this information about the DNC, John Podesta's emails. Can you tell the American people 1,000% you did not get it from Russia or anybody associated with Russia?
We can say, we have said repeatedly over the last 2 months that our source is not the Russian government and it is not a state party.
Their source is not the Russian government, and it's not a state party. Well, why won't Assange tell us the source? Because the Democrats will kill them. Simple as that. People have been known to die who combat the Clintons before. All right? This is Julian Assange, and what he has expressed multiple times also is that it was a leak. It was a leak. It was not a state party. It was not a foreign government. It was a leak. So what that means is that there is a mole inside of the Democratic Party. And they leaked that information to Julian Assange and gave it to WikiLeaks. So basically, the Democrats are blaming Russia to delegitimize Donald Trump. That's what I've been saying. That's what Julian Assange just said in this interview with Sean Hannity. So, I mean, guys, right there from the horse's mouth, we did not get that from Russia. So what does that mean? Why do they keep blaming Russia? It's because every single time that the Democrats mess up, they try to come up with a poor excuse that caused that incident. We saw it with Benghazi. We're seeing it now. It was absolutely absurd. Everyone agrees. There's no controversy in saying this. Everyone agrees that it is absurd to blame a terrorist attack on a video that received less than 1,000 views on YouTube at the time. When I viewed the video, I viewed it right when the Democrats announced what video it was. I was looking at different blogs and was able to find the video that was being blamed for all this. And at the time, this was the original video. Remind you, the original video, it only had like 1,000 views on it. It was insane. And the next thing you know, the video that was uploaded to YouTube that caused all this problem, I mean, eventually it really skyrocketed with viewership. But up to that point, no one had viewed it. It was just a quick thing for the Democrats to blame in order to get the focus off of themselves. And even with, all the investigations into Benghazi, I don't think that you're fully going to know what happens until Donald Trump takes the White House and is sworn in as president. We might hear that come back up. I'm just saying I could see that happening. But here you have Julian Assange saying, nope, sorry, it was not Russia that provided us with that information. The Democrats can bellyache. They can say that that's the reason or that's the source, but it's not. And if you notice, when you had these various commentators talking about whether or not this information was credible, They always said we don't have to respond back to hacked emails. So in other words, yes, that was information that came directly out of the Democratic Party. But what we're hearing basically is that because this information was leaked from inside the Democratic Party to WikiLeaks, because it was leaked, we are not to believe it. We're not going to question the Democrats if any of this information is valid. They don't have to answer that. We're just going to completely ignore it. Isn't that the most amount of absurdity that you've heard coming out of the media? We don't care about the facts. All that we care about is that Russia was somehow involved. No one's telling us how, but Russia was somehow involved in this entire matter. The White House refuses to provide us with any information pertaining to the Russian hacking or any information convincing the American people of a tampering that took place with the U.S. election. We don't need any of that. We're just going to take them at their word. Now, if that were the Republicans making such accusations, we would be asking for evidence. We would be requiring evidence. But because it's the Democratic Party, we're just going to believe them. Because they always tell the truth, right? Right. I did not have sexual... No, I'm not saying that. But, you guys, you get it. But that's... they're really truthful people. Anyway, guys, moving on. We have another article here from thehill.com. Paul Ryan Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky, has announced that he is urging Congress to repeal and replace Obamacare at the same time as lawmakers pave the way this week to roll back the law. The Kentucky Republican wrote in an op-ed published by Rare that it would be wise to vote on a replacement plan for the Affordable Care Act as they repeal the Obama-era law. If Congress fails to vote on a replacement at the same time as repeal, the repealers risk assuming blame for the continued unraveling of Obamacare. For mark my words, Obamacare will continue to unravel and wreak havoc for years to come, he wrote. So, Senate GOP leadership has indicated that they will support having a multi-year off-ramp for the Affordable Care Act, which would delay the repeal of the law as lawmakers try to hatch out a replacement plan. Paul floated replacing the Affordable Care Act with freedom, including saving money in a health savings account and buying insurance across the state lines. Senate Republicans are expected to vote this week on instructions that will let them repeal large chunks of the Affordable Care Act using reconciliation. The budget process will allow the repeal to clear the Senate with only 50 votes. That would allow leadership to lose 2 GOP senators before needing to flip Democrats or get the vice president to weigh in on a 50-50 tie. Congressional Republicans haven't publicly rallied around a replacement plan yet, which will likely need Democrat support to pass the upper chamber. But many lawmakers have said that they support keeping some aspects of the Affordable Care Act, including a provision that allowed children to stay on their parents' plans until age 26. Well, even with that being in there, that's still one part of this 1,000-page law. So, I mean, yeah, just include that in it. But when you just have these little itty-bitty pieces that are legitimate in this law, that's not to say that the entire thing is good. You write a new bill, you write a new law, write a new plan, and include that in it. But, I mean, guys, it's really, it is... It's something that needs to be scrapped and just done over. All right, it can't be repaired. It's beyond repair at this point. But it's going to be nice because now we are able to repeal Obamacare, the president's signature law. Because I remind you, Obamacare was Obama's signature act, signature legislative law that was put into effect, and now that is completely being done away with. The Obama legacy is going to be non-existent within the next few months, and it is absolutely sweet. I mean, I am so happy. We're getting rid of Obama's policies, and we're more than likely going to see conservative policies put into effect because we have the House, we have the Senate, we have the presidency, and Republicans have no excuse if they fail.
Caiden Cowger. Keeping America straight.
You You're listening to Caiden Cowger on the WCNR News Network.
Caiden Cowger.
Somebody had to say it.
It safely eliminates stress and anxiety. It makes commuting, driving your kids around, or driving a truck more fun. It makes gift shopping easier. It's Happy Driving Stress Reduction, a revolutionary patent-pending tool that works while you drive. Find Happy Driving Stress Reduction on iTunes, Amazon, or Google Play. Make life easier. Buy Happy Driving Stress Reduction today.
You always want to look your best, but you don't always have time to deal with a necktie that won't cooperate. That's where we come in. Introducing the Never Tie, the only necktie that you never have to tie. Each Never Tie comes with a tie and 2 removable knots that you simply slide on and adjust for your comfort, giving you the perfect look every time. Choose from over 20 stylish designs at thenevertie.com. Enter promo code RADIO1 for discount.
Go get your copy of Prelude to World War III, The Rise of Islamic Republic and the Rebirth of America. World War III Series Volume 1, available in paperback and Kindle edition on Amazon by the authors James Rozone and Miranda Watson. By the 2020s, America was no longer a world superpower. The military had been cut to a bare-bones level, and while the U.S. was focused internally, the door opened for new powers to emerge on the world stage. In the wake of this power vacuum, China.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-441-7922. That's 1-800-441-7922.
Goldman Sachs and HSBC recently purchased 7.1 tons of physical gold. What do these bankers and mega money managers know that you don't? They're expecting the value of gold and silver to increase. That's why you need our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group offers gold and silver for direct delivery and will not be undersold. Call now. Call 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at Capital Gold Group. Capital Gold Group is a company that deals with investing in precious metals such as gold and silver. They've been in business for over a decade and have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been featured on Fox News, Market Watch, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, CNBC, Reuters, Fox Business, Financial Times, and Forbes magazine. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-932-4108. That is 1-800-932-4108. They also offer various ebooks on investing in gold, such as the Definitive Gold Guide. So once again, if you're interested, you can call 1-800-932-4108. That's 1-800-932-4108. All right, guys, let me tell you about our friends at the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja is a company that specializes in slashing debt. They deal with various debt problems such as tax debt, debt settlement, debt consolidation, student loan debt, credit repair services, and bankruptcy. That is 1-800-826-1132. Now, their company, the Debt Ninja, operates on a national level and have worked to fight the IRS for many of their clients. If you're interested, you can call at 1-800-826-1132. That is 1-800-826-1132. Once again, that is 1-800-826-1132. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, American Auto Protection has announced an extended service plan that is now available to the general public. This plan reduces the cost of auto repair expenses. Maximum Car Care was created to assist qualifying car owners with lowering repair bills of cars under 130,000 miles and under 12 years old. Maximum Car Care works to limit the expense of auto repair bills, roadside assistance, rental coverage, and towing. Their number is 1-800-824-9762. That is 1-800-824-9762. Once again, that is 1-800-824-9762. Maximum Car Care is a proud sponsor of the Caiden Cowger program.
You're listening to the WCNR News Network, where America comes to talk.
Caiden Cowger. Somebody had to say it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Caiden Cowger program. Great to have you with us. So apparently Don Lemon had his mic pulled from him on the New Year's Eve show on CNN. CNN news anchor Don Lemon chugged tequila, had his ear pierced, and launched into a rant about how awful the 2016 year was during a drunken live New Year's Eve performance that ended with producers cutting off his microphone. That's Don Lemon. The other anchor, Kathy Griffin, and Anderson Cooper kicked off the bizarre sequence of events by debating whether Lemon should get a tattoo or have his ear pierced. What are you thinking, CNN anchor Brooke Baldwin asked Lemon, who was reporting live from New Orleans. And there's a bunch of other stuff that went on, and they cut his mic off, long story short. And he got his ear pierced, too. So that's what happened. Then, of course, 2016 was the year that Lemon called dumb as a rock by none other than Donald Trump. You were fantastic defending both the Second Amendment and me last night on CNN. Don Lemon is a lightweight. Dumb as a rock. So there you go. So Donald Trump really completely really just embarrassed himself on the network. So whatever. CNN has completely lost all credibility to begin with. But anyway, another thing that I want to report here is that we have a new survey that is out by the Williams Institute, and it's a pro-transgender advocacy group at the University of California, Los Angeles. And they have found that just 22.7% of Americans, this is a pro-transgender group, just 22.7% of Americans believe that people should be allowed to change their recorded sex or gender identity on government documents whenever they wish. So there you go. An overwhelming majority of Americans do not believe that people should be able to change their gender identity whenever they wish. So, guys, I'm going to tell you, I think that a majority of Americans oppose this bathroom law crap, making it so you can go into whichever restroom that you desire. I think that most of them support regulations like what were passed in North Carolina, making it so you have to go with the gender of your biological sex. And see, the thing is that biologically speaking here, you either have an XY chromosome or you have an XX chromosome. You're either a male or you're a female, all right? Genetically speaking, biologically speaking, those are the only two predominantly options that you can be born, all right? You're either an XX or an XY. Now, the thing is that liberals are such advocates for science, remind you. They self-proclaim that they are the party based in science. Well, why do they reject biology? Why do they reject common sense? Why do they reject facts pertaining to chromosomes? It's because they only use facts when it benefits their argument. They solely rely predominantly on emotionalism. They do not rely on facts. They twist facts to benefit their side. And if you also notice, one of the main things that they rely on, too, are polls. And as we just found out this last election year, those polls are pretty much inaccurate themselves. So, guys, I tell you, I think I'm really optimistic about 2017. I think it's going to be a great year for us. I look forward to being here, telling you the way that it is with this upcoming year. So, hope you had a Merry Christmas. May God bless all of you. May God give you a great new year. Hang on to those New Year resolutions. Thank you. And, guys, I want to thank you for listening to us. For more information on the Caiden Cowger program, go to CaidenCowgerProgram.com. And for the latest news exposing the left, go to CowgerNation.com. Thank you. God bless. and God has saved our nation.